Drama. Yeah, I've been running and running to keep it 100, it's all that I wanted. But lately I don't get the stomach. The higher the summit, the harder the plummet. They know me all over this planet. I'm just a man and I can't understand it. Proud that I win and I did it myself. Probably wouldn't if I got the hell. Hearing subliminals all on myself. Feel like I'm breaking, I'm falling to hell. Told me I'm sick and I tell her, oh well. Rather be dead than to know that I failed. Live for the chase, life is a race. I'm out of space and they get on my face. I got a taste, well the whole plate. Finna get laced if we step out of place. Like, first off, you don't run nothing. All talking, your team bluffing. My squad, we all dream crushing. We ain't rushing, no discussion. All I know is us made for this. Paid for this, yeah, slave for this. Getting down and I'ma get it right. Get on sight like down and I'ma get it right. Dead on sight like.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I've decided I'm gonna do a little review on my personal E46 M3. Weather is alright finally. This has been off-road since September, so probably about half year. It was parked next to my house, so I was like, you know what, time to take it out, give it a quick wash. And basically introduce you to this E46 M3 because I think I've never done a detailed video or any video regards to that, because you've seen plenty of videos regards to my M5. Because obviously engine broke, blah blah blah, but that's all fixed, all running, blah blah blah. Anyway, so here you go. This is my E46 S54 M3. I think it's year 2003. Bought it, I think, like more than 1.5 years ago. It's done originally 77,000 miles, and it's carbon Schwarz metallic. So and it's manual gearbox, which is big bonus. So the story is how did I bought it? I was passing this car pretty much every day on my way to work, and I sort of saw with sort of one corner eye, I was like, oh yeah, there's M3 parked up. And yeah, literally time went by and I was scrolling sort of Facebook Marketplace and I was like, this seems to be familiar. So this popped up for sale for I think it was £8,500. I was like, at that time I had my E60 M5 off-road with the still dead engine. I was like, M5 still not going to be running for a while, because I think at that time when I bought this I still didn't bought a donor car. And I was like, you know what, I'll pop down, go and actually view the car. I mean, I never had the E46 M3, never driven it, so I was like, let's give it a go. So I went there, saw the car. Obviously it was sort of, yes, okay, I mean, not super perfect, but alright-ish. Needed brakes all around, and what else it needed? Yeah, just scuffed alley wheels. I mean, no big deal. And all the major jobs, which is, let's say you're trying to buy or sell E46 M3, like rod bearings, subframe, I think on this car hasn't been done. So that's still to come. That's definitely I'm gonna do. And well, basically I ended up buying it for 7.5. The seller was sort of happy to let it go, and I was like, you know what, let's take it. So I took it, and yeah, sort of since today I still own it, and I'm not planning to sell it, as you know, they increased the value as well. That's one of the reasons, and plus, I mean, no need for me. I mean, I like it, it's sort of classic shape, and I don't know, just maybe do small improvements. I got original CSL wheels to go on this car. Obviously I'll do them rod bearings, I'll do the rear subframe refreshment, obviously reinforce the subframe. As you know, they suffer from that. cracking the chassis, and then yeah, basically just do maybe a bit of a detailing. But so far it needs plastic wheel arches, scuffed at the bottom, both sides. But I mean, it's sort of no rust as far as I know. I mean, quite solid underneath, like all original, nothing modified, nothing tucked with it. But I just need sort of detailing, maybe polishing up, and it'll be tip-top condition.
Been down and I'ma get it right, dead on sight like.
I wasn't sure when I bought the car, did I like the sunroof, because everyone brags about, oh, it's a non-sunroof, it's more rare and it's better. I mean, I like the sunroof, but in my personal opinion, it's sort of, if it has, it has, if it don't, it don't. I'm guessing if this would be sort of prepared for the track or whatever, obviously non-sunroof would be better. But I mean, if you're preparing for track, I mean, going full blast or like full house, you just basically weld that in, or whatever you're going to do, sort of reinforce roll cage and job done. But in my case, I mean, I'm not going to use it for track car, maybe take it for Nürburgring once in a while, but so far no plans to take it, let's say, convert as a half track car, let's put it that way. Option wise, I mean, it's pretty dead spec. I mean, it's got electric folding mirrors, and I think that's about it. Oh, and it's got a sat nav as well. Non-heated seats, which is quite a shame, but I mean, it's always space for improvement. I mean, I could do with the Harman Kardon sound system, but as I said, none in this. And I was thinking, well, if I'll get bored, I was like, I'll probably retrofit that stuff later on. But at the moment, let it stay as is. Plus, I mean, it's black leather, which is good as well. Don't like any gray stuff, as you know. I hate gray leathers. I say I hate sand beige leathers. If that would be sort of maybe individual, white cream, whatever, then yeah. But I mean, standard sand beige gray is completely no for me. I hate that.
Never really know when you're gonna go. Roll that glitter in the front of my nose. Bury them toes, carry them close. I was never one to care about my own toes. I was like froze, now I'm on floor. Give me that smoke when I can't get hurt. We need the most, you're one spark. You're one supposed, but I can't get down. Run for your life.
So I got completely standard S54. I think they're like 330, 340 bhp stock. And obviously naturally aspirated, blah blah blah. Nothing, literally no modifications whatsoever. Standard air filter, standard intake, standard exhaust, everything standard. Well, pros and cons regards to S54. So, as any M car, I would say rod bearings is the first thing to do. Obviously, I'm gonna do at some point this once. I mean, don't really trash this car.
Never really know when you're gonna go. Roll that glitter in the front of my nose. Bury them toes, carry them close. I was never one to care about my man toes. I was like froze, now I'm on floor. Give me that smoke when I can't get hot. We do the most, you're the one spot. You're one supposed, but I can't get tired. Run for your life every night. See in the dark, blind by the light. I got the smoke, I got the pops. All of my arts coming to life.
Don't do nothing silly. Maybe just once in a while. Anyway, and well, that's the and obviously Vanos unit and the head gasket. Why head gaskets? Because I think it has 86mm bore, and if you imagine between cylinders, I think, well, let's maybe half a mil, not half a mil, maybe 5mm, let's say, and that's the weakest points on them head gaskets. I probably will need to do sort of like preventative maintenance on this one as well. I mean, so far no sign whatsoever, although I haven't done the compression check, but I mean it drives completely great, no issues whatsoever. But as I said, Vanos, head gasket, rod bearings, like if you do that, that's it. I mean you're good to go. And let's say if you do this, let's say when it comes to sell, that's sort of like 3 questions you get asked, probably 4 including the rear subframe. Because I mean, if you imagine selling this, every sort of future owner, first things what he's gonna ask, has this has been done? Oh, if not hasn't been done, it hasn't been done, that means, oh, let's say this gonna cost, let's say, I don't know, all in including subframe 2-3 grand more or less, give or take. Well, it depends where you take it and what parts you're using. But yeah, I mean it does affect the price. I mean you can maybe let it go cheaper, 3 grand cheaper, don't do the job, or you can obviously do the job, let's say drive it without any sort of worries and sell it for 3,000 or whatever more. I mean every sort of M car owner, especially these ones, I mean they'd rather do it instead of leaving it till late when it's actually too late, when the, let's say, repair bill is even more. But as I said, I'm gonna do everything myself, but I'm just not sure yet. I got plenty of projects to do, as you know. But so far so good with this. I mean I'm really enjoying it. It's completely different regards to my E60 M5, to be honest. Completely, I mean I would say this drives as a literally standard E46 but with more power. That's how I look at it. Yeah, it's more compact, more smaller, but let's say with the E60 M5, let's say I just press the button, I can feel, let's say, them car changes completely sort of opposite way, you know. It's more aggressive, you got better handling and obviously more power. But I mean, don't get me wrong, this is good as well, but I more prefer E60 M5 than E46 M3, to be honest. But I don't know, I mean I got them both, so I can say one weekend I can drive this, other weekend I can drive E60 M5, and who knows, something different in another weekend, but we'll get there anyway. So what I really enjoy and like about E46 M3 rather than E60 M5, that on the chassis you got these wide arches at the back and obviously wide arches at the front. But where, let's say, on E60 M5 is pretty much standard chassis, apart from there is no sort of battery located in the middle where the spare wheel sits. But here, let's say on M3s, they have a sort of widened the arch, and obviously the chassis is completely different, you know. And obviously the back is sort of more wider, and that first thing which you can tell, that's a proper M3 instead of like sort of replica, you know. I mean anyone can bolt on these mirrors, fender, the wings, bonnet, whatsoever, but not many people sort of gonna go that far that you can widen the arch more. So that's a sort of like big cherry on top regards to the chassis itself, you know. So regards to back end, obviously we got twin pipe exhaust. There's a massive bat box literally going from there to there, and exhaust going that side. And then obviously M3s doesn't have a spare wheel, because obviously back box, same as the sort of M5s. There's a battery in the boot, and I have 2 big back boxes on the side, but in this case you got sort of long back box across the back end, and in this case we got battery still in the same place, but we still don't have a spare wheel. So I mean that's the downside of sort of all M cars, M performance cars, whatever. If you go sort of long journey, you don't have a spare wheel just in case, you know. I mean you can check at the back, but still, you know, space is limited, let's put it that way. So yeah, I mean what else, as I said, this is pretty much rust-free example. You won't, well, most common places is sort of underneath the boot lid or boot lid itself, so sort of where the number plate strip is. But in my case it's still alright. I mean, I'm guessing all I need to do is clean everything up, grease it, just make sure there is no rust. I mean, paint is sort of original, don't really like respraying cars, but if it needs to be, yeah, but in this case hopefully it's gonna stay. It just needs sort of detailing, you know. This was quick review introducing my E46 M3. As I said, I didn't make any other video in regards to this car, so now you see it, now you know it. This is one of the cars in sort of my collection, but you're probably gonna ask, what's the plans with it in future? Should I just sell it or whatever? I mean, at the moment no plans. I'm guessing just little improvements, doing bits and pieces what it actually needs, and do the sort of rod bearings, reinforced rear subframe. I mean, sooner or later you'll have to do it anyway, so I'm just gonna sort of, when I ever gonna do it, obviously gonna record the videos and stuff like that. So far just drive it once in a while. I also want to take it to Nürburgring. Not sure, maybe this summer, see how the circumstances around the world, but probably the dilemma will be between my E60 M5 and this, but I'll probably gonna see it at that stage when it's actually gonna go. I mean, might end up taking 1 week in this, after a couple months other, you know, but because as I said, it's a completely different cars and you just want to give it a try both, you know. So yeah, I mean, if you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and I'll see you next time.
Never really know when you're gonna go. Why you gotta put another foot in front of yours? Bury them toes, carry them close. I was never one to care about my mentos. I was like froze, now I'm on floor. Give me that smoke, but I can't get high.